Hello and welcome, everyone, to Good Old Rocky Talk, a Vol Society podcast. I'm your host, Brad, here with my partners, the Davids. We're glad you're listening wherever you are. This is Good Old Rocky Talk. Welcome back to episode 5 of Good Old Rocky Talk. I'm your host, Brad Frank, along with my partners, as usual, David Dees and David Morrison. Guys, how we doing tonight?
Good evening, Brad. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Good evening, Brad.
It's good to hear your voices.
Tell you, I'm digging this Monday. We're recording on a Monday night. I'm digging this two NFL games on a Monday night. It's kind of nice. You got the Bengals Rams tonight, and you got the Eagles Buccaneers. So I'm tuning into those while we record.
It's good stuff. Yeah. I guess we could start with NFL since you're kind of talking about it already, Dees. My Panthers, unfortunately, took another L Sunday. We're 0-3. We're doing great right now.
Started Andy Dalton.
Well, we had a chance there. It was a closer game than I thought it would be, but we just still couldn't get that win. And I'm so sorry, Dees. Your team fell to you yesterday. Falcons, they got the L. And Morrison.
Yeah.
Oh, Morrison.
Oof.
What is going on with those Titans?
Woof.
Maybe somebody needs to start dating Taylor Swift on the Titans, and maybe we can get some wins.
Hey, I want to say something. I want to say something real quick. I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, I love Taylor Swift. I think she's awesome. She's obviously popular. But, guys, I don't understand the media sometimes. I mean this. I woke up this morning, and I'm looking through, as I always do, my social media and all that. Hey, every third post is this Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce ordeal. It's just videos of Taylor Swift. I mean, forget the football game. It's all about the Taylor Swift being there, and she's dating Kelce and all that. It is outrageous. Do you agree? It's crazy.
It is. I mean, I was going to mention this when we were talking about what you've learned this week in college football. I was going to make the joke of, well, for people who are tired of Dion, now we get the circus of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on the sports media for 2 weeks now. So I think this may be the biggest. David D's going to get a kick out of this. This may be the biggest sports celebrity couple since David Justice Halle Berry of the 90s.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there you go.
Which that did not end well.
No, didn't end well at all. It ended about as well as Andre Rison and Left Eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
We'll get off of that.
At least, I think Hallie was with him in the middle of when she filmed the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Is that true? That was around the same time, right?
I think so.
Well, let me ask
What
you
a
this.
classic.
Let me ask you this. You guys see this relationship lasting a long time? Are they going to get happily, married and live happily ever after, or is this just a fling?
I'm giving it. I'm sorry, Deez. I'm giving
Go
it.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give it through New Year's.
Wow.
Maybe after Super Bowl.
Wow.
They'll make it to
New
Christmas.
Year's.
They'll make it to Christmas and have a wonderful Christmas at the Kelce's with Jason and Travis and Mama Kelce, and then I'm going to give it to about New Year's.
You think Taylor Swift's just going to shake it off, ooh, 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 ooh.
I think so.
Sorry, guys.
She'll shake it off.
She's going to shake it off, huh? She's going to shake Travis Kelce off New Year's, according to Morrison. Woo! All right, that's enough, Taylor.
This Tennessee podcast has started off really well.
It's awesome. Yeah, we did digress a little bit, but hey, that's what's in the news today is Taylor Swift, so we have to talk about it.
You know what, Brad? This is our show. We can talk about whatever we want.
We can do whatever we want. That's why we run the show. Oh, guys, so let's go back. Let's get back on topic here. It's great. I will say it's great coming off of a win. It's good to be back in the win column against a UTSA. So, and I'm happy about that. Just you guys know this, but the fans don't. I hope everyone had a good weekend, by the way. I had a great weekend. I actually took the fam and we took an extended weekend way deep in the mountains of North Carolina. So deep and up there, 4,000 in elevation that we didn't really have internet, TV. I mean, it was just one of those kind of weekends, which is good to have every once in a while. So I didn't even get to watch the game. I just got to hear about it from you guys. And when I finally got some internet, I got to look at some of the stats. So I know a little bit about what's going on, but I'm going to have to rely on you guys this week to kind of break this down. So I'll tell you what, how about we just go ahead and get right into the first segment? Recapping the Tennessee UTSA game. All right, so the Vols won big. And you know what? Our predictions, I don't know about you guys. My prediction was pretty close. I think I said 44-24, I think. And the Vols won 45-14. So they did get a pretty good win. They beat them pretty bad. However, this is where I need you, Morrison and Dees. What in the world happened in that second half? In particular, that third quarter. I'm just looking at the stats since I didn't watch the game, and it is atrocious compared to what happened in the first and second quarter. Who wants to go first? Explain this victory to me and our fans. Were you happy with this win? Were you not happy? What are your concerns? Morrison, go first.
All right, so I was there live and in living color at Neyland Stadium. First play of the game, Tennessee got the ball at their own 20 after D. Williams run it out of the end zone for some crazy reason, but I'm not going to go down there. But Joe Milton, fake read option, took it down the field, 80 yards untouched. Tennessee up 7-0 by the time you got settled down.
David Morrison,
and I remember,
not to cut you off, that first touchdown you're talking about, I want to hint on this real quick, and then I'm going to let you continue that. But I think it's important to note that we had the first ever Spanish radio broadcast at that game Saturday.
Yes, we did.
Led by Carlos Lopez. And I believe the reason for this was in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about that first touchdown about Joe Milton. I want our fans to hear this quick segment, this recap from Carlos Lopez that is going viral. You talk about energy. Let's hear this real quick. Is that okay with you, Morrison?
Go right ahead.
Vamos!
Let's go. Here we go. This is what it's all about, folks.
Del campo, dos recibirá abajo del campo en la posición, en la formación de escopeta, mandando un hombre en moción por atrás del quarterback, se la entrega por el medio del campo, no, se queda John Milton por acá, por la parte izquierda, agarrando grama, señoras y señores, está yendo, en la 40, en la 30, en la 20, en la 10, dale 6, que aquí hay un touchdown. Los primeros 6 del juego, señoras y señores. Una corrida de 80 yardas para John Milton. ¡Dale 6!
Y una buena opción.
¡Dale 6! ¡Dale 6! ¡Woo! ¡Dale 6! ¡Touchdown! Hey, let me tell you right now. Was that not awesome? Seriously, guys. Was that not incredible?
That's incredible.
I loved it. That was really good.
Guys, I'm all for this staying for the rest of our season and continuing.
Hey,
I don't even speak
I'll listen
Spanish.
To that before I listen to
Brother,
Kessling.
Hey, bingo. I don't even speak Spanish, and I'd rather hear that. No offense to Bob Kessling, but I'd rather hear that all day. That was fantastic energy. I don't even know what he said, and I love it. Was that not awesome?
It was awesome.
Electric.
Yeah,
Electric.
Really cool idea from the Vol Network to do that.
Oh, hey, man, and I'll tell you the publicity that it's getting and the reactions, man, you might see this continue. I'm not kidding you. This was awesome. And if you get time, look up Carlos Lopez on WBIR. They did a special on him. You go online, WBIR.com, and you'll see a special on Carlos Lopez about where he came from and how his road to get to where he is today was not that easy. But with hard work, dedication, you can do anything in life. So go check that out, WBIR.com. Sorry, Morrison, I just had to share that. Continue.
No,
Continue
that is
with
totally
the
fine.
game, please.
No,
Continue.
no. So I just mentioned Joe Milton, 80-yard touchdown opening play of the game. Tennessee's up 7-0, and I remember thinking, this is what we need. This is a great start right here. And really just going through the first half, I really love the play calling they did with Joe Milton. Joe Milton took that 80-yard touchdown run, and then he felt very comfortable running when he needed to. And I know a lot of Tennessee fans are kind of tired of the bubble screens, and I get it. But I thought Tennessee looked very comfortable doing those plays, getting Joe Milton into a rhythm. And Tennessee was really, cooking on first half offensively, getting down the field. And I thought the team felt very comfortable, and UTSA couldn't really answer. Uh, and then UTSA ended up starting Eddie Lee Marburger at quarterback. It felt like he just couldn't control the crowd noise. Kudos to Vol Nation for coming out and really bringing a great home field advantage as always. But yeah, UTSA was really struggling in that first half, and like I said, Tennessee was just firing on all cylinders. And maybe I drunk too much Nico Kool-Aid, but I'm thinking after halftime, I was like, well, Nico's going to start the second half. Yeah, we're finally going to see Nico, and it didn't happen, but we did see a lot of younger receivers come into play due to kind of some banged up injuries. Keaton did get banged up in the second half. Didn't return, but doesn't sound like he's serious. But, Caleb Webb got his first touchdown, so happy for him. We saw Chaz Nimrod. We saw like a lot of rotation in the wide receivers getting some reps.
So let me
Dylan
ask you.
Samp-
So let me ask
Yeah,
you
go
more.
ahead.
So not to cut you off. All right. So first half, it sounds like balls were just clicking, all cylinders, just looking good. Joe Milton, I assume, was pretty accurate, as you say.
Yeah, felt very comfortable.
Obviously, they were scoring points, putting up points, and defense was doing what they needed to do. So let's now real quickly, because we got a lot to talk about. So let's go to the second half now.
Okay.
What happened in a nutshell?
All
what
right,
happened?
so couple things. So UTSA, they swapped quarterbacks out. They brought in Owen McCowan, the son of Josh McCowan, a Colorado transfer. And, I just don't think Tennessee was ready for him to play. I mean, UTSA had been running with Frank Harris at quarterback. He got hurt. So now when they brought in McCowan, that's their third different quarterback. And, Tennessee wasn't ready for him, and McCowan went down 2 straight drives, got a couple of touchdowns, ended up the day 18 for 20, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, which he threw late to Warren Burrell. And then in the third quarter, Joe Milton got hit in the knee. That's kind of been the talking point. I'll let Dees kind of elaborate more on that, but it looked like he was just kind of off sync in the third quarter, and the offense just kind of sputtered in the third quarter. And like I said, just UTSA getting those 2 touchdowns in the third quarter.
Well, let me ask you this.
Kind of brought some life.
So are we saying, because I didn't see the game, guys, are we saying, and Dees, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah.
Are we saying that because Milton had maybe a little injury going on there, that's why we played bad? Yes or no?
No, I don't think that's what we're saying. I do think there could be a correlation.
Okay.
But bottom line is we're getting used to seeing Joe Milton be consistently inconsistent. He has these lulls in ball games where he did it against Austin Peay. He did it against Florida to some degree, where he just has this series of 2 of just inaccurate throws. His decision making wasn't poor in the game. It was just really just sailing some balls over guys' heads, as we've seen him have the tendency to do. And it's just, I don't know if he was playing really well until the leg injury, and then he just kind of fell off. So I'm sure they could be related, but I'm also just used to seeing Joe be inconsistent. So I don't know what was what. I know he had an MRI done the other day. I haven't heard how that went. I'm assuming he's going to be ready to go against South Carolina. Yeah. It's a shame that we're getting into these ball games with these inferior opponents, and we're not getting any significant playing time for Nico. He only got a couple of series in the game of the day, and it's just wasted opportunities. You're a play away from Joe going down, and then what? Yeah. You got Nico coming in with only a few snaps under his belt. So I just think those are opportunities you got to take advantage of. I was disappointed when they rolled Joe back out there at the start of the second half. I was hoping it was going to be Nico the whole second half. I don't know if the concern. I don't know what the concern is. I don't know if they're trying to get Joe in more of a rhythm with the offense and with his receivers, and that's what it is, or if it's um, not wanting to show Nico to anyone. I don't know what it is, but yeah, Joe didn't play well in the third quarter, and the defense really started having some problems when they switched quarterbacks, and that kind of opened their offense up a little bit. And our defense, our pass defense in particular, did not respond very well. Still seeing a lot of soft coverage in the secondary and guys just, playing way off the ball, and they were able to take advantage of that.
David,
But
is it our players?
all in all, a win's a win.
Is it our players on
Yeah.
defense not performing, or do we have concerns with our defensive coach? What?
I think it's both. For a couple of years now, we've seen really soft coverage get exposed, and I'm concerned about it Saturday night against South Carolina. We'll get to that later, but
Yeah,
I don't know, man. You've seen these same veteran players, and they give this huge cushion off the ball, and teams pick it apart. And I know part of the defensive scheme is to bend but don't break, and they want to be, give up some space but don't give up the big play. But it's kind of infuriating when you keep letting teams off the hook on third down. You saw it against Florida all game. They kept picking us apart on third down, third and 10,
yeah.
third and 8,
yeah.
third and 15, and they complete a sideline pass and get a first down. So I don't know if it's – I don't know if it's – I would say it's probably both. It's scheme and players, but it's kind of frustrating to watch when you just stand there and let them pick you apart, especially if you're not going to bring pressure to the quarterback. So but all in all, the pass rush was good again in the first half, which is what you should do against a team like that. A lot of guys in the backfield. And all in all, not a terrible performance, but, still enough there to leave you worried as you move into SEC play further into it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Go
One
ahead.
final thing on Joe Milton, Brad. Taylor Davis, who was the sideline reporter, I went back and watched her Facebook stories before the game, and she admitted she was answering some questions from the fans, and she admitted on her Facebook stories Instagram stories, that basically Josh Heupel told the announcers that Nico was not going to play, so don't expect to see Nico to play. Now, I don't know if they were just trying to just play smoke and mirrors with that or whatever, but according to her, she said that the coaching staff felt very comfortable with Joe Milton and his play and how he runs the offense. So take that for what you worth, but I thought it was very interesting. She brought that up. I was kind of like,
it is interesting. It is interesting, and I mean, so far you're right. I mean, it appears they're riding and or dying, with Joe Milton, and again, it takes me back to a time when we had a Jarrett Garantano, and it was a similar situation where I'm not comparing the two, but it was a similar situation where a certain coach just, no matter what happened, this is our guy, and that's kind of what we're seeing with Joe Milton, and it just concerns me a little bit. I really want to like Joe Milton. I mean, I love him as a person, but the inconsistency is really driving me nuts. And you're really not going to get away with that these next few ball games, especially the one we have in a few days. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I think we all three have concerns. We're going to get into that later on in the show. But how about we move on to our next segment, guys? Thanks for breaking that game down for me. Again, I was not able to be there or watch that game. So thanks for breaking it down. And let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, okay? What did we learn this past week in college football? Well, again, I didn't watch a lot of football. I was out in the boondocks, no internet or anything like that. But there are, what I do know, I do want to mention, with what little I do know from this past weekend. But I do want to kind of highlight Coach Prime. Oh man. As he called it himself, he took a good old country butt whooping against Oregon. Woo-wee! Hey, man, I'm all for Deion Sanders, what he's doing. As we have talked about on the podcast, we're just sick of the media and how they're just constantly talking this story up and all that. That probably shut it down a little bit I mean, they got their tail whooped, 42-6. So I thought that was interesting. It's something I think we all learned that that team can be beat, and not they didn't just get beat; they got blasted. So, woo, that was a tough one.
No surprise there, and they were a 20-something point underdog. Yeah. They've had 3 games that were winnable, but they're about to start playing some teams in the Pac-12 they're just not going to be able to play.
Absolutely. Remember last week in the pod, I told Morrison, I said, "Hey, if that team can somehow win their next 2 or 3 games, then I will say, hey, Deion Sanders, that's the greatest coach in college football right now." But
what he's done has been phenomenal to this point, and I think they're a team of the future. As long as he's there, he's gonna get players, and they're gonna
no question.
They're going to win
no
games.
Question.
He's too far behind the 8 ball with talent.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see what else. I want to talk a little bit about that. It's worth mentioning that Ohio State Notre Dame game. Man, I wish I could have seen that game. I went back and watched the highlights. I'm a big Notre Dame guy. I'm a big fan of their quarterback Sam Hartman. But man, what a battle! Did you guys see the game? What was it? Was it a touchdown by Ohio State or something at the last second? Or
yeah, at 1 second left, or final second of the game. It was a defensive struggle the whole way, and Notre Dame finally got the lead late, a couple minutes left, and then Ohio State went down the field on them, and they had several 4th down plays that they converted on, I think, and
wow,
crazy ending. Right as talk about deflating, you think your team's going to win, and then all of a sudden, just 1 second left,
crazy.
And they punch it
it's
in.
Crazy. Well, listen, 2 good football.
Yeah. Great game. Yeah. Two really good defenses.
Yeah, 2 really good.
Couple notes
teams,
on that game,
sure.
Brad.
Go ahead.
Marvin Harrison Jr. was hurt in that game, and it looked like it was pretty severe. But he got to come back in that last drive. So
really,
and then there was a lot of concern with that, and then the final touchdown by Ohio State to win the game, Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field.
I saw that. They talked to the coach.
And for any of you gamblers out there, it was a 3-point spread. So a funny, weird ending.
I know.
So Ohio State scores, time runs out. They review the play. They determine that he does score, but that he went into the end zone with 1 second left on the clock. So they're up 2, and had time ran out, there would have been no extra point. But because they said they're 1 second, they put 1 second back on the clock. They kicked an extra point, and that made it a 3-point Ohio State win instead
Isn't
of
that
2.
Crazy? God, that's so nuts.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, indeed, man. They're powerful. Man, that's wild. FSU beat Clemson. Glad to see that. I'm not a Clemson fan. I'm just
great, great game.
But apparently, a really good game. Was
Clemson's 0-2 in ACC play for the first time since 2010.
Was that one in overtime, guys?
Yes.
Yes, okay, it was.
31-24, FSU wins. Bama.
Clemson played really well. Good. They just didn't have it there at the end. Florida State beat them.
Bama, they beat Ole Miss. Not by much, though. 24-10. And then LSU.
Lane Kiffin continues to not be able to beat anybody of
he
substance.
Can't do it. And then LSU beat Arkansas. I saw 34-31. That's about all I really caught, guys. I'm still catching up. I just got home a few hours ago. So what did you guys learn in college football this past week? Anything that I didn't mention? Go ahead.
Each week I keep feeling like the Pac-12 is the best conference out there, at least to this point.
Oh, they are.
I watched Washington State, Oregon State. You talk about a phenomenal game. Washington State's offense will remind Tennessee fans a lot of our offense last year. They go fast. Their quarterback's phenomenal. Like Hendon Hooker, he just seems to always make the right decisions. They've got playmakers on the outside that, are good to get downfield after the catch. They're a dangerous team. And then Washington, the Huskies, they blew out California, took care of business. And I continue to think Washington, Oregon, and Washington State are all contenders. We'll see what USC can do. They've kind of been up and down. But that from top to bottom, that's a really good league this year. I've really enjoyed watching their games when I've been able to catch them. And to this point, they have more depth and better teams than what I've seen in the SEC.
I would agree 100%. Morrison?
What I learned was there's a lot of angry coaches out there kind of calling out different people in media. We kind of mentioned Dan Lanning was very fired up in his pregame about Colorado, and they took care of business, which that's kind of under the bridge. And then Ryan Day got upset over Lou Holtz, of all people in the world. For those that didn't know, Lou Holtz was on. Lou Holtz was on Pat McAfee's show Friday. Pat did his show from Notre Dame, and Coach Holtz was just kind of rallying up the Notre Dame fans and saying, "Oh yeah, they're going to win by 10. Ohio State's been soft and all that." And Ryan Day kind of called out Lou Holtz.
He didn't kind of. He did.
Well, he did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was awesome. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, and
he
then
had a lot of passion in that speech.
Yeah, and then Washington State's coach calling out Lee Corso he made a comment on game day about the Oregon State-Washington State game, calling it the nobody wants this bowl game, which I thought was kind of a little humorous, but there's some truth, and he didn't like that. So a lot of angry coaches, and I kind of wonder if it has to do with just Deion just really kind of opening up his personality, which we knew he would. I mean, maybe I'm just observing it more, but it seems like we're seeing more coaches now really speaking what's on their mind instead of coach talk.
Well, Morrison, hey, it's not just college that's got some angry coaches. NFL's the same way. In particular, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that game Sunday?
Yeah, the Dolphins put 70 on them. Yeah.
70!
Mm-hmm.
Did you see his press conference afterwards? Woo!
I'm sure he was. I didn't get to see all of it. I heard he was not.
Oh,
he was not.
He was fired up, buddy. He was mad. Anyways, yeah, there were coaches all over the league, NFL and college. Not too happy this weekend. Anything else you learned, Morrison?
Not just another great Saturday. That was a very loaded Saturday. A lot of great games.
Yeah, I hate that I missed those. I really do. I hate to miss college football, but every once in a while, you just need to. You got to go and take a little mini vacation.
Take a little rest. I understand that.
A little rest.
But October's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
usually October's where you separate your contenders from your pretenders.
Oh, yeah,
we'll find out.
That. Woo!
Yep,
I like it, Morrison.
You're going to see that.
I love it. Well, you know what, guys? Let's go to our third segment, and this is my favorite segment. Mailbag section. All right, guys, this is where we hear from our loyal Vol Society fans. If you don't know and you're listening right now to Good Old Rocky Talk, we have a Facebook page. We're also on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, YouTube. We are a part of Vol Society, VOL Society. So find us there, and that's where we do a lot of interacting with our fans, and they ask us questions, and in return we say, hey, we're going to read these questions over the air, and we're going to do our best to answer those for you. So let's go ahead and get started with this, guys. We're going to take our first question from Bo from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Where in the heck is Bell Buckle, Tennessee? Guys, help me.
I have no idea.
I think it's somewhere around Nashville, maybe.
Bell Buckle, Tennessee.
I tell you who's from there. Keon Johnson.
Wow. Okay. Well, you've heard of Bell Buckle then. I have never heard of Bell Buckle, Tennessee. But I know somebody that's from there, and his name is Bo. Bo, let's get to your question, buddy. Thanks for tuning in to Vol Society and Good Old Rocky Talk. All right, his question: does Tennessee have a chance to beat Bama 2 years in a row? That's a really good question, Bo from Bell Buckle. All right, Bo, here's what I'm going to say. It is so crazy how I keep changing my mind, and it's already, what week are we on now? Is this week 4 or 5? 4? Week 4. All right. My brain has just been going left and right about our Vols. I'm not kidding you. One day I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to do this year. Nope, now we're not going to do this year. Nope, now we're going to do that. Okay, so here's my answer to this, Bo. As of this week, I put it a 50-50 shot. I'm not kidding you. Now, a few weeks ago, I would say we're going to get creamed. There's no way we're going to Bama. We look terrible. Our defense is terrible. Joe Milton's inconsistent. But here's the thing. Alabama's struggling, guys. This is not the Alabama of old. These guys are really struggling. They're like us. They don't look that good. I have to give this a 50-50 shot right now. Since it's at Bama, I'd probably give them a 51% just to be a little slightly a bigger advantage. But hey, I think it's anyone's game as of right now. What do you guys think? Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're crazy. Tennessee's not beating Alabama this year.
Woo!
I thought they would before the season. Hey, listen, how we beat them last year? We beat them with Hendon Hooker making plays and Jalen Hyatt making plays. Do we have either of those guys on our roster? No. Do we have anybody that's done anything close to what they did last year to beat Alabama? No. Have we seen a receiver get behind the defense consistently all year and Joe Milton be able to hit him in stride? No. So Tennessee, unfortunately, will not be beating Alabama this
Passion.
year. Sorry.
Passion. You hear this, guys? This guy just said to the founder.
And it pains me to say it.
This guy just said to the founder, no, you're wrong. You don't know what you're doing.
Guys, beating Alabama last year was one of the greatest days of my life.
It was incredible.
It ain't happening this year.
All right.
Not with this roster.
Wow. This guy just put me on blast and said what I said was a bunch of bull crap. Morrison, are you also going to call me crazy?
I probably won't call you crazy, but I'm kind of on Dee's side. I just don't right now see it. I don't see it. Kind of a little bit what Dee says, but never say never.
Guys,
any given week.
Let me ask you this. Now it's time for a debate. Do you think Alabama looks good right now?
They're not looking.
Not at all.
I mean, I think they look terrible.
We said the same thing about Florida, Brad.
Yes. Hey, now I'm not saying we play like we did against Florida. We play like we did against Florida. It's over. Game over. But, man, Alabama is struggling, guys. I'm just saying there's a chance.
Bama does have back-to-back road games coming up. They play Mississippi State on Saturday at Mississippi State, and then at Texas A&M on the 7th. Then they get Arkansas at home before they host us. So they do have I don't want to say a difficult stretch, but those back-to-back road games, that could be interesting. But it's right now. I mean, we've got a tougher road ahead than probably what Bama does right now, and
I will gladly eat crow if we can pull that off. I would love to eat crow and say I'm wrong.
Tell you what I'm going to do.
I work with a guy who's an Alabama fan.
Tell you what I'm going to do.
I would do anything for Tennessee to win that game. I just don't see it.
Tell you what I'm going to do, guys. When I came home a few hours ago from my trip from the mountains, turned in here to on one of these side roads here to get to my subdivision. There's a dead crow out there on the side of the road. I'm going to go get that, scoop it up with a shovel, put it in a box. I'm going to put it in my freezer, and I'm going to hold you to that, David Dees. And if we win that game, I'm going to take that crow out of my freezer, priority ship that to your house in Tennessee, and we're going to go live on the air and let you eat that crow, big boy.
Let's do it. I'll gladly do it.
Hey, and Morrison, I thought you were a glass half full guy. What happened to that
never
guy?
Say never. I said never say never.
Gosh, you guys just destroyed me here. Bo from Bell Buckle. Man, I hope you're on my team, Bo. Don't be on the Davids team. I've got a glass half full attitude going on here, guys. I'm calling it 50-50 right now. Boom. All right. Great question, Bo. I got to make a note in my planner here when the podcast is over tonight to get a shovel, go to the road out back, get the crow. All right. I think I have a shoebox over here too. All right, cool. All right, great question. Let's go to our next question. Hey, guys, this comes from Freddie from, I know this area very good. I have a lot of family from this area. Lenoir City, Tennessee. Not too far away from Knoxville, just south just south of Knoxville. You got, Lenore City, you're going to be in Knoxville in what, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, depending on which area in Knoxville you're wanting to get to. All right, Freddie. We appreciate the question here. He asks, where would you rank Joe Milton in current starting QBs in the SEC? Wow, that's a good question. It's a good question. David.
Oh, man, I hate this.
Tough, I know. But
I don't want to pick on Joe.
I don't want to pick on him either, but I would say he's definitely better than some of these QBs in the SEC. I can tell you that. Let me put it to you this way. Let's break this down a little bit. I'd say he's better. Hey, would you say he's better than, who's Bama's quarterback? Is it Jalen Milroe?
Jalen Milroe.
You'd say I'd say he's better than him.
I'd say he's better.
Okay. That's one. He's better. I would say Graham Mertz, Florida. Is he better than Graham Mertz?
No.
No?
Graham Mertz is a better game manager.
Okay. I think it's iffy. Was he better than Joe Milton when we played him? Absolutely. Graham Mertz destroyed us. But I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. Let me ask you a question.
I don't either.
Carson Beck, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I would give Joe the
Absolutely. Edge. So, Joe, you're looking good so far.
I put him over Jackson Dart.
Yes.
I would too.
Yes. Would you put him over AJ Swan? Vandy?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking good, Joe. How about Devin Leary, Kentucky?
Jury's still out.
I think that's close. I think we're starting to get in that Joe range. Huh?
What about KJ Jefferson?
I think you're right there in that. I think it's still right there in that Joe range, in my opinion. Now let's do this. I'm going to name some quarterbacks that I think are absolutely in front of Joe Milton.
Okay.
I'm going to first go with. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. He's probably my number one if we're talking SEC. I'd say he's up there, top 2 or 3. Jaden Daniels. Spencer Rattler. I hate to say it. I really do. I hate to say it, man. I'm not a fan of this guy.
Spencer Rattler's the best quarterback in the league.
I think you're probably right. He's definitely up there, top 2 or 3. God, and we got to play them Saturday. We're going to get to that in our next segment. But he's up there. Connor. What's his name? At A&M?
Bregman.
Is it Wegman? Something.
Wegman, whatever
I think
it is. I don't know.
Anyway,
he's better. That guy's
he's better. What about Will Rogers, Mississippi State? He's better, I think.
I think if you put him in our offense, he'd be better.
Well, but he's not. But yeah, you're probably right. So, all right, we said a bunch of these. I don't know if we said them all, but
I think the guy at Missouri's better.
Yes, I agree with that. I would say Milton's like in that, like middle. Would you say he's probably somewhere in the middle, guys? I'd say somewhere in the middle.
Middle of the road.
Probably middle of the road. Yeah. Okay. I think,
and this is probably going to sound like a backhanded compliment at Joe, but I just think some of the ones that we named that are better than him, it just probably has to do with his experience and his ability to what he can do. And I guess some stats too, but it's, like we mentioned AJ Swan and Jackson Dart. I mean, Joe's been around a long time compared to a lot of these other guys.
Yeah.
So,
man,
but I think
I'm just calling it like it is, man. I love Joe, but look, man, I'm sorry, man. This guy's been here so long. He's had so many opportunities. I just don't like seeing the Uncle Rico of Napoleon Dynamite, throwing footballs over the mountain, and not. We need a guy who's just consistent, man, and can hit their targets. And we got. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna quit talking about him. So hopefully that answers your question, Freddie. I'd like to see Joe Milton a little higher up, but I'd say he's in the middle of the road right now in terms of SEC. All right, let's go to one more question, guys. Leo from Tracy City, Tennessee. Where the heck is Tracy City?
It's actually only about an hour and a half from where I live here in Chattanooga, Ooltewah area. It's in Grundy County.
Really?
I did not know that.
Man, I tell you, I'm going to pull a map out, Tennessee, and learn my areas. All right, Leo from Tracy City, Tennessee. He asked, do you guys expect Dylan Sampson to get more carries this week? Leo, I'm going to tell you what. We picked this question for a reason, and I'm glad you asked this question. The best answer I'm going to give you is if we don't, then I'd like to have a sit down with the coaching staff and ask them why he's not playing. We didn't see this guy play at all against Florida, which was absurd, in my opinion. And I think Morrison, I think Dees would agree with that. Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, it was absurd he didn't play against Florida. He actually had a great game against UTSA, kind of just
of course he did
on the scene.
Every time he's played, he's had a pretty good game. The guy is great.
Yeah.
And if you don't get him in the rotation, something's going on. So, Leo, my thing is he better get carries this week.
Yeah.
Right?
We saw Jalen Wright got banged up in the game Saturday, and Simpson just kind of took over, and he was just, I mean, you could tell like he was running with a purpose.
Oh,
he wanted
Dylan Sampson is one of my favorite players at Tennessee. I'm not kidding you. He's one of my favorite players. This guy's great. He goes 110%, and you know what? He delivers. He's great. He's got to have more carries, man. He's got to have carries this week, especially against this team we're going up against. We need him. Dees, what do you think, man?
You're on mute.
Sorry. I think he's a great player. I think maybe pass protection is one of the reasons they didn't play him against Florida. Still, I think it's inexcusable. You got to find a way to get that guy the ball. Yeah, you got to find a way to get that guy the ball. He's a very dynamic runner.
Yeah.
I think you got to keep him in the game and keep him engaged. I think he'll make plays for you every day. He seems to be a touchdown machine. How many does he have this year? He already got 5 or 6 touchdowns. Seems like every time he gets his hands on the football, he's scoring.
Yeah.
But I hope to see more of him this week against South Carolina.
Yeah. Thanks, Leo, for the question. Appreciate it. All right, that's going to do it for our mailbag section. We're going to go to our final segment now. Thoughts on the South Carolina game and score predictions. All right, guys. So it's not a secret to anyone that this game Saturday, and by the way, this game is scheduled for a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, so it is a night game at Neyland Stadium. It should be electric. If you know what happened last year, this game's going to mean something, and it should mean something. So the problem is we're not playing our best football, and South Carolina's looking pretty dang good, especially that Spentler Rattler guy. Hey, this guy is, as we just talked about, he's probably the best quarterback in the SEC right now, and I hate to say that because I am not a fan of South Carolina. It is going to be, they just announced for the game, it is also going to be a dark mode game. So wear your black shirts, your black hats, whatever you have. It's going to be an intimidating atmosphere. That much I know. Okay, I don't have to predict that. I know it's going to be electric. What I don't know is the Vols, are they going to be ready for the test? And trust me when I say this is a big test. And in my opinion, this could be one of the biggest games of the years for the Vols, of the year for the Vols. Because you lose this game, you got 2 losses. You know what I mean? Like, you win this game, man, you got something to look forward to the rest of the season, and hopefully grow from there. So listen, guys, I have no idea what your score predictions are, but Morrison got me all motivated last week with this glass half full talk. And here's what I'm going to do. This game could go either way. A part of me, honestly, and I hate to say this, wants to go against my Vols. I think South Carolina is playing at a higher level right now than Tennessee. I really believe that. But, man, I just feel like this is a redemption game and something. I feel like you're going to get an Angels in the outfield scenario here, man. I think those Angels are going to come down and something glorious hopefully will happen and we get our redemption from last year. You know, we all know that horrible game last year. Hendon Hooker gets hurt. We get beat. It was just awful. Guys, I'm going to go. Vols are somehow going to pull this out. And it's going to be a dang close one. 34-31. The Vols win. That's my prediction. And I say that very nervously. I'm very nervous about this. But I'm going 34-31. Vols somehow pull this out. David Dees.
I'll be there for the ball game. I'm looking forward to it. I know, it'll be a great environment. It's a must-win game, in my opinion, for Tennessee to be able to accomplish what they, I predict them to go 9-3 at the beginning of the year. For that to happen, I think this is one of those games you've got to get. I agree with you. I'd like to see them win. It's a game at home, redemption game, all that stuff, dark mode. This team
Hold on, David.
looks lost to
Hold
me.
on, David, before you do your prediction. Hold on, David. I know the fans listening can't see us, but you can see us, David. You can see us. I want to show you something. What's happening right now? Angel's in the outfield. I see an angel.
Flapping those wings.
I see an angel, buddy. Come on. Give me some good news. What do you got?
Unfortunately, Danny Glover isn't walking through that door, and neither is Tony Danza. I just think Spencer Rattler in a shootout is not a matchup that Joe Milton wants. I think
don't make me get
South Carolina.
Don't make me get Ranch Wilder on you, the voice of the Angels.
South Carolina's offensive line is very gettable. Tennessee's pass rush, if they bring it, can get after Spencer Rattler, and I think they're going to have to. However, we're trotting out pretty much the same secondary that got picked apart last year in Columbia. Not much has changed there. The defensive coordinator is the same. The players are the same. I don't feel great about Tennessee shutting them down.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm just worried about Joe in a shootout.
I don't like where this is going.
I got to go.
Oh, no.
I hope Tennessee wins. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be pissed off if they lose.
No.
But
no. Here we go.
I think I got to go South Carolina, man. I think Tennessee's going to lose. This team looks lost a lot of times on offense.
No.
Their defense has lulls in games where they just go away. They still play soft coverage and get picked apart on third downs. They got to play a whole lot better. I think they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to put their best performance to date on the field Saturday to have a chance of winning this game. I think the crowd can carry them a long ways. I think people are going to be out there fired up. I'll be fired up. I think we can carry them. But at the end of the day, Joe Milton's got to make plays. This offensive line's got to hold up, and we got to tackle well on defense. We got to hold up in the secondary. I hope you're right, Brad. I hope Angels do show up. If I see Danny Glover or Tony Danza, I'm going to be excited. But I gotta go with South Carolina in this one. My score prediction is going to be South Carolina 27, Tennessee 24.
Oh, no. David Morrison, what do you got for me, man?
All right.
Breaking my heart tonight, guys.
So here's some keys that Tennessee can end up getting this win. South Carolina has really struggled running the ball this year. They've been averaging 75 yards a game per rush, or rushing per game. Their leading rusher right now is Mario Anderson at 129. And Tennessee's got a great defensive line. We got to find a way to stop that. But Spencer Rattler is a dynamic playmaker right now, the best quarterback in the SEC. You do need to bring some pressure to him. He got sacked 9 times against North Carolina. I think you're going to have to get it's going to be very impossible to sack him 9 or 10 times, but you got to have to force him into some third and long situations and find a way to hang in there. But I think this is going to be a shootout. Kind of like D's. I'm not trusting this secondary.
Oh, no.
It's just.
I don't like where this is going.
I really don't. I really am concerned about the secondary. And, South Carolina did lose some guys in the transfer portal, but they are returning back like DeCorian Joyner, who went off against us last year. Trey Knox is really good for them. Xavier Ledick, however you say his name, I'm sorry. 27 catches, 556 yards, 3 touchdowns. like I said, I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a highly emotional game. But I'm going
Oh
to
no, don't! I don't like it. I don't like it when you start with the "but." I'm going to.
I'm going 33-30. 33-30. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
And it's what? 33-30?
33-30, South Carolina.
Guys, you're going to have to carry me out of Neyland if Shane Beamer comes in and Spencer Rattler comes in and beats us in
Well, you guys just called them. You just predicted them to win.
Hey, I'm not the one playing the game.
Oh, guys.
I just haven't seen enough consistency out of Tennessee yet to know what this football team is. I don't have confidence in them. I hope that changes.
That's fair.
I hope they go out Saturday and put 4 quarters together and I can leave that game feeling like, all right, we got a season to take on. Let's go. We got some hope. Coming out of these last couple of ball games, I don't have any hope. This team's lost a lot of
That's
times.
fair. It's fair. I understand.
I got to see them do it, man. I got to see them do it. And we had some injuries last game that I think there's going to be several guys that are probably out. We don't know who they are yet. You never can trust what's being reported during the week about injuries. Yeah. And I do hope think Cooper Mays will be back. And I'm hoping, like I said 2 weeks ago, that was going to be what carried us through. Getting him back could be a big deal for this offense. So I reserve the right to have some hope, but I just, coming into this one, I'm not feeling great about it. They're going to have to show me.
Oh, boy.
And this is a huge game for Heupel, too. I mean, it's a huge game for both coaches, but really,
hey, man.
I'm not going to put Heupel on the hot seat because I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, my God. No. Not even in the same sentence. We shouldn't even use that yet.
Yeah.
No,
but
no,
I know there's your delusional Vol fans.
Oh, wait, every fan base has them. Every fan base has those guys. But
I think
this coach.
But this can be a huge momentum win for him in his career.
Well,
I'll
say this again. Yeah, we still have big games on the schedule. Your big Alabama game, listen. This game Saturday, in my opinion, is like one of the biggest games of the year for us. It's going to set the tone of the rest of the season for us. It really is. Huge game.
And you're not going to see a talented quarterback probably the rest of the year compared to Spencer Rattler. I mean, but we talked about Bama and we talked about all the quarterbacks and comparing him with Joe. But, I mean, Spencer Rattler is a playmaker. He's been in college football for 5 years. He is a 5-star former quarterback. Yeah, he's had his issues at really both schools. But, I mean, he's played a lot of big games. He's played in a lot of big stadiums. This is going to be nothing new to him. I mean, for goodness sakes, they went to Georgia and went up 14-0 against the Dogs. I mean, they end up getting the loss, but to me, you're going to have to really shut down this South Carolina offense, and Spencer Rattler is the head one you're going to have to do. Like I said, North Carolina sacked him 9 times in the first week and ended up getting a big win. Now, like I said, it's going to be tough to do that even with our talented defense, but
well, I'm going to tell you
right
now.
That's what you're going to have to do, and the offense is going to have to be clicking. I will say if, Tennessee's offense, I do feel a little comfortable with, especially if we saw this Tennessee offense in the first half against UTSA, I would feel confident as far as, like, staying in the game. But that secondary scares me to death. And if we're starting to miss tackles on Spencer Rattler, even if we get in like a 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5 and he does a little rollout, we're going to have to find a way to get him in long situations. And sometimes even 3rd and 15 scares me too.
Let me tell you right now, a game Saturday is going to be electric. It's dark mode. It's a night game. And your founder of Vol Society, B-Rad Frank, will be in attendance. They're going to pull that game out just because I'm there. I'm going to give them motivation. I'm going to give Tennessee my all Saturday night. Let me tell you that right now. They're going to get my all Saturday night. I'm looking forward to being back in Tennessee. This is probably my first and only game. I don't live in Tennessee anymore, but so I don't get to go to the games much, but I will be back this Saturday night. If you're there, if you see me, don't be shy. Say hi. We'll get a picture. We'll post it on Vol Society. Let's do it. So I will be repping Vol Society Saturday night. David Dees, from what I understand, is also going to be there. We're going to miss you, Morrison. If you can somehow make it, make it. But Dees and Brad will be in attendance Saturday night, and it's going to be electric.
I will be there.
Woo!
Go get them, boys.
We're going to get them, all right. We're going to get them. All right, guys. Well, it's that time again. It's been a great show. Although, had some disappointments tonight. You know, Morrison, that glass half full, didn't really stick around to this episode. You got Dees calling me out on the Bama game on a question earlier, and Morrison agreed with him. I mean, I feel left out tonight. But it is what it is. I can take it. Great episode, guys. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. I had a lot of fun tonight. Really good stuff. Be sure to join David Morrison Tuesday, 8 p.m. on our Facebook page, Vol Society, for Vol Society Live. That's right, live. We had another incredible turnout last week during the live show with many fans asking questions. So please be sure to tune in Tuesday, 8 p.m. on our Facebook page. It is your time to shine. It's a live chat room. Every question you ask will be answered. So please join us there. I'll be there hopefully as well, chiming in. But Morrison does a great job with that show. So please join in Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. From all of us here at Good Old Rocky Talk, I say good night and go Vols.